Good to get the first one underneath their belt. I thought we were maybe smooth or maybe in rhythm as much, I thought, in the first half. But I thought our defense was outstanding. I thought we rebounded the ball really well. I thought we got them uncomfortable. We talked about kind of picking up the pressure a little bit, and I thought we did a really good job with that. You look at the halftime score and have to be pleased with it, at least most of it. I thought that smaller lineup that we played in the second quarter I thought was really good, to their credit, and obviously they zoned and handled that very well. Second half, credit to Loyola. I thought they came out and played incredibly hard. I think we really tried to still focus on our defense, and they made us make some mistakes. I think they ran a couple things that multiple times that we just didn't adjust to when we had some new players come in. That was disappointing. But that's a tough game. Obviously, when you're up big in the first half like that, it's tough to maintain that. But I thought overall, I have to be pleased as a staff.
Rachel, especially in the first quarter at home, seems to come out of the gate firing. Not by design, I'm sure, but just the boost that she gives you guys coming out of the gate, right?
It's by design. We're trying to get the kid to let the thing fly. I think that was something that we struggled with early. As I thought she passed up some shots. I thought her teammates did a really good job of finding her today. I know Maggie on a couple times, Alicia in the especially in the zone, and I thought Allie was really good. I thought during our minutes when Allie was out there, I thought we were really good. We got to make sure that we can play well when she's not out there, and I thought that we made some strides with that today. I thought Alicia was very good today, especially on the defensive end, causing some disruptions, which was great to see, and something that we really talked about heading into this game.
A little bit about Alicia's progress. She's moved into the starting lineup this year. How is she coming along?
Yeah, and really has kind of forced her way into that lineup. I think that was something that she and I talked, and some of the others talked about kind of what her role was going to be, of just that defensive stopper. And it's sometimes hard. Done it before, starting 2 point guards. We've done that before and told them that during the recruiting that it was a possibility. But she really has just kind of been that steady presence on the defensive end, really, like we said earlier, causing a lot of disruptions and just made it really hard for us not to have her on the floor, including tonight. We obviously tried some different lineups, especially in that second half, some things that maybe just probably haven't even practiced with some of those lineups. But I thought she's done a really, really good job. And I think if you look across the board at some of the guards that we've had this year play against us, Alicia's more than held her own in those matchups.
Would you talk a little bit about what did you learn about your depth tonight, and what does that give you leading further into the A-10s?
Yeah, I think that's something that we've talked about as a staff is, we have some experience right now, and we have some older players that I think are really comfortable playing together. We really got to get, some of our younger kids especially to kind of get some seasoning in and get some experience in there, and able to do that tonight. I think, Ava hit a few shots, I think calmed down a little bit. I thought Rain attacked a little bit, had some tough breaks, but I thought she did some really nice things defensively. And, Shanika and Anisha were able to kind of get out there today. And I say sometimes make some mistakes, because I think you have to do that. I think you can look at what Maggie and look where Rachel are. They'll be the first to tell you that there was a lot of coaching going on during that first year for them. They were not the polished products that they are now. So I think that's going to be important for us, even more so as we kind of get into Christmas and get into the back end of this, that we really got to get some minutes out there for those guys.
This is kind of the first quarter of the season getting to Thanksgiving. You play some top 10 teams. You play some really close games. Tell me where the Spiders are at this point.
Yeah, obviously the two top 10 games, top 10 teams, margins probably got away from where we would have liked to see them. Obviously, we would have loved to have Sheesh play again. I think we also knew it wasn't just that we were playing those guys, is that we were playing them early in the season. And I thought that was going to be tough. Playing Texas in that second game, I know they're going to get better. They're going to get coached better as the season progresses. But, I'm not afraid to play those sort of teams again. And we have some really tough games still on the schedule. So I do like the progress that we've made. I think coming out of that Columbia game, I think we learned a lot about our team. Even the Temple game, wasn't thrilled with some things in the TCU game, but they had a kid kind of go off a little bit. But I thought the Green Bay game, we kind of found our offense a little bit. And you saw that a little bit at times today, but there was still some clunkiness tonight too, that we got to work on our spacing, work on our reads a little bit. But that will come. That'll continue to get better. I know everybody talks about what we were last year and the last couple of years, but I think, like me, we all remember the game 32, 33, 34 and what we looked like then. As you said, we're a quarter of the way there, but I think we match up well with where we've been at this point in other years, and I think really excited about that.
You held them to 10 points in the first half, and I'd really just love to go back to that once more. Is this as good as you've seen this group work defensively, and what were you most pleased with tonight?
Yeah, I knew that we had that in us. I think watching a little bit, and again, when I said we were watching the Loyola game, like UConn, I thought sped them up a little bit, and I think it was something that we were trying to target. Really pleased with it. I thought we were really good without fouling in the first half. Second half, I was worried that aggression would kind of put them at the line a little bit, and it did. Would they go to the free throw line, 11, 12 times, I think, in the second half, which is not something that we want to do. That fourth quarter, I thought, got away from us. I didn't love our defensive intensity. I didn't love the breakdowns. Some of the breakdowns that we had were things that they had been doing all game that we just, like I said earlier, had some kids come in that didn't make those adjustments, and we got it. We pride ourselves on that, and that part has to be better. But I think the foundation of our defense is really solid right now. I thought we protected the rim well without fouling. I thought we stayed in front of them. I thought our switches were really good. If we can continue to play the way that we did in the first half, I think this is a very good defensive team.
Just your thoughts on your first conference win.
Do you want to go?
Okay.
Oh, you go. You go.
I thought that we did really good. I thought we came out hot, which I feel like we needed just to kind of establish ourselves within the A-10s and, show everything that we can do. And I thought...
And yeah, I think in the second half, too, we kind of saw a little adversity with what they were kind of giving us defensively. And I think just learning from that experience and kind of moving forward would be huge for us, especially against our next game against Fairfield and further on as well.
Rachel, it seems like you always score a majority of your points in the first quarter, especially at home. Tell me about that.
I think it might just be a coincidence. It's just kind of the ball finds me, my teammates find me when I'm open, and it just goes in. So I can't really.
But it does help the start. You're going to get off to a good start.
Yeah. I try to. I do what I can. My teammates help out a lot too.
Talking about those big threes that were also hit within the game, and especially the first half, what do you see defensively in the other team that really allows you to take that lead?
I think they went zone for a little bit, not for long because we started making a lot of our shots from three. But no, I think our teammates just, they hit the paint early, and I think that helps us with our spacing too. Just someone else cuts and there's a wide open shot in the corner. We're kind of reading off of each other, and I think that was huge, especially in the first half.
And Richmond came in leading in threes and the A-10s. Do you feel like tonight's game played to that identity, to really how you want to play as a team?
Yeah, I think we've kind of been known for being shooters on our team and kind of having those shooters, but also, we're not going to pass up a wide open shot, so we're just going to shoot with confidence. We've been shooting, all summer, and I think that kind of shows when we're playing. We don't really, second guess our shots. We just shoot it with confidence, and if it goes in, it goes in. If not, next play.
Alicia, just talk about your role as a starter this year. You moved in. How does it feel? Are you comfortable yet?
Yeah, I would say I'm very comfortable. I just work hard, and I try to, get the rebounds, and obviously defensively is one of the things that I'm very strong at. So just making sure that, I do my job to the best of my ability, and then when it's time for me to score, just make sure I shoot the ball.
With Rachel and Maggie and Michelle and Allie, the pressure on you to score, you can kind of feel your way through the game, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, they do a great job scoring, and I feel like because of that, the defense is more prone to kind of really help them, try to make sure that they don't score, which kind of gives me that opportunity to score. So just them being great players allows me to attack when need be.
Okay, we've hit Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Just where you guys are at this point, you happy with the progress? Where are we as a Spider team right now?
Okay. I think we're in a good spot, especially, coming off of our first win in the A-10 league or conference. I think we have a long way to go of where we want to be, come March and stuff. But I think it's a good foundation for where we want to go in the future.
I'd love to hear a little bit more from Alicia. You were poking balls loose all night. How much would you say your defense feels your offense?
Almost 100%. I feel like me being defensively aggressive kind of gives my team energy, and I feel like from that we kind of go into, like, we just the ball start dropping, I'm getting steals, I push the paint, and then, kick out to my shooter right here, and then she knocks down the three, and it's just an ongoing cycle. So I would say defense fuels a lot of my offense. Defense is what gets me started. Even if I can't make shots, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go down. I'm going to get the ball right back again. If I miss that one, I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to find Rachel. She's going to make the three. And just stuff like that. I feel like it's like a trickle effect.
And we saw a lot of other players on the field tonight. The bench was almost all on the floor.
Yeah.
So how is the chemistry really having other players come into the field?
You got it? Okay.
I think it's great. In practice, we all obviously practice a lot. We switch teams a lot, and I feel like them being on the floor and, us finding them gives them more confidence, so that when it is time to get on the floor and, they get more minutes, they're more confident now because they've worked so hard and they've put in, those minutes on the floor, which kind of gets them acclimated to, the pace and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You look like you've gotten used to the mask. How much longer before you can lose that?
A little longer. I'm going to transition from a black mask that fits my facial structure for just more protection next week, and then I'll be in that for 2 to 4 more weeks.